everyone, Evie the Original Master here, and welcome to my review on Josh and the Big Wall from VeggieTales. So if you're wondering, I'm wearing the same clothes as my Madame Blueberry review, is because I'm recording this review on the same day as I reviewed Madame Blueberry, but this video will be coming out on Christmas Eve, which is on December 24th, so you guys will be getting a Christmas Eve video coming out. So yeah, so this video will be uploaded on Christmas Eve by the time this comes out. So, Josh and the Big Wall is the last VeggieTales episode to have the original logo and the original theme song from 1993 to 1997. So, the episode begins with Bob and Junior on the countertop. Yes, Junior is on the countertop. It's because in the last show, Larry became really tired, so he decided to take a nap for this segment. So they then get a letter from Victor Folomew from Sausalito, California, where a student in his class hit him. And this is probably one of the funniest letters I've ever heard from the VeggieTales, because that we've never gotten violence like this. We've never gotten a letter that dealt with violence. And then we are getting a letter about this kid getting punched. And I was like, dang, VeggieTales just got a little dark. But yeah, so that's where Bob and Junior tells a story about Joshua and the Big Wall. So I'm going to make this review a little bit quick, is because that I don't want to go way into details, because this episode has tons of religion in it, and I want to avoid as much of that as possible, but I'll try to squeeze in a little bit of the meat of the story. So the Israelites are stuck in Egypt for 40 years in the desert, and being led by Moses, where he gets a message from God telling him that they should follow his directions to go to the promised land. But all of a sudden, Moses accidentally, I am sorry, I did not mean to say accidentally, but he passed away, and so Joshua has to take his place. So Joshua then leads the Israelites to the promised land, where they start singing the song, which they dream of it as food. So you got a Jimmy Gourd, Jerry Gourd, Tom Grape, Pa Grape, Scooter the Carrot singing the Promised Land song, which is actually a VeggieTales classic. And I thought the song was pretty catchy. I actually loved the kazoos that Kirk Heineke provided in the song, and he also had slide whistles, which was pretty interesting. And yeah, it was actually a pretty good song. So then Joshua takes the Israelites to the Promised Land, where they are stopped by a wall blocking it, which is Jericho, which is guarded by the French peas. So then the episode goes to a halt for a silly song segment, which is the Song of the Cebu, which was a silly song from the Ultimate Silly Song Countdown and the End of Silliness videos, for if you guys didn't know. So yeah, so the Song of the Cebu is another good silly song from Silly Songs with Larry. It was very catchy, and yeah, it goes like this: Cebu, hippo chewing on bamboo, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm not gonna sing the lyrics because you guys can look it up, and you guys should probably know the Song of the Cebu. So after the silly song, then Jericho, the wall that they were trying to get across, then are guarded by the French peas, like I said earlier. They come out and they start dropping slushies on them because they can't walk by their wall. And so Joshua tells the guards that they need to go to the promised land promised by God. And so they couldn't go past the wall, so they forced to leave out from the wall and to think of a plan of what they could do to get past the wall. So Archibald Asparagus comes in, played as a lord, and he tells Joshua that on 6 days for each day, they should walk around the wall, then they should blow their horns, and they should scream, which will all topple the wall down. I am sorry if I'm screwing up the wording here. I apologize, but let me rephrase that again. So Archibald comes in. He tells Joshua that in order to knock down the wall, is first they should walk around the wall 6 times in those 6 days. Then on the 7th day, they should bring their guards with horns with ram hats, and they should blow on the horns, and they should all scream and shout, which will topple the wall down. So yeah, that's basically what I meant to say. So they do this, and the wall comes crashing down, and basically they made it to the promised land. So that's basically the whole premise of this episode. Now, let me talk about some extra scenes that I would like to discuss about this episode. So there is a song in this episode called "The Lord Has Given This Land to Us," which is one of my favorite VeggieTales songs because that the song is actually pretty good. I love the piano that plays in the song, and I like the way how Joshua sang it. But then it was sung again by Junior, but it was a full version of the song, and Junior was kind of singing it off key, and his voice cracking made it worse. So I prefer Joshua's version of the song than Junior's, because that Bob and Junior are basically telling the story of Joshua, basically. And so there's another scene where Jimmy and Jerry Gore decided to use a rocket ship to make the wall come down, but they never used it, so it was pretty much pointless in this episode. I don't even know why they had it. But yeah. And there's another song that in this episode was Keep Walking, But You Won't knock Down Our Wall. That's another song that was sung in the episode. And I actually do love the ways how the French peas use the slushies. They use hoses. They had like a cement truck that dumped slushies all over them. They started dropping cups of slushies on them. And yeah. And another thing that I would like to mention is the attention of details that this episode had. When the wall came down, the animators added like little dust textures on the characters to make it look like they're all dusty. For 1997, that's actually some really good attention to details. I was not expecting VeggieTales to do something like that. So props to the animators putting attention to details on the characters when the wall came down and they were all covered in dust. That was pretty interesting. And so the episode ends, again, with Bob and Junior on the countertop, and the French peas drops a slushie down from the ceiling because they wanted to hear the "What Have You Learned Today" song. And so Larry comes in, the computer turns off, the whole room goes dark, and that's how the actual episode ends. So yeah, Josh and the Big Wall was okay. It's because that, yeah, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say it's good anyways, because there were some scenes that were dragged on for too long. The scene that dragged on for too long, in my opinion, was Junior's speech to the Israelites, because it felt like filler to me, because it was this really long monologue speech of Junior telling the Israelites about why God want them to follow his directions and whatnot, and singing that song, the Lord has given this land to us. Yeah, basically, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, this episode is just okay for me. So I'm gonna give Josh and the Big Wall a 7 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review for Josh and the Big Wall. Sorry if the dialogue of this review was a little weird. I apologize. I don't write scripts. I have all the memory in my head, and I try my best to provide all the information you need for this review. So I'll see you guys next time on my review on The Ballad of Little Joe. So with that said, God made you special, and he loves you very much. Goodbye.